lunch and the house smelled like gas.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Ours did too. I've been wondering
We're
if
good.
it's like the ice got caught in the vent or something.
Well, then the stove was on for some reason.
Yes.
So then she came home and the house was full of smoke.
Oh, that's,
So that's why I've been.
you've only got one part of the trifecta.
I'm good, Zach.
Okay, so that'll return us back to session. I did want to bring up, we began to talk about it, but never actually covered anything to do with PD's social work program.
Okay. I got that in my director's report, so
Oh, perfect, okay.
we're good.
So then, item number 9, new business. Sweet. Item number 10, May 2025 election.
So I, at about 3:45, got the actual resolution concerning our regular election to be held May 6, 2025, to be conducted as a polling place election. I will read this in and then vote and sign, because we're under a timeline. Whereas
You're doing great.
Whereas regular elections are to be held on the Tuesday succeeding the first Monday of May in every odd-numbered year for the purpose of electing members to the Board of Directors of the Trinidad Ambulance District. And whereas 2 4-year terms and 1 2-year term shall be open at the regular election to be held on May 6, 2025 by the district. And whereas accordingly, the Board of Directors of the district has determined to submit to the electors of the district at the regular biennial local district election to be held May 6, 2025, the election of directors. And whereas a designated election official shall be appointed by the Board of Directors to be responsible for conducting the election. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Directors of Trinidad Ambulance District of Los Animas County, Colorado, 1, that a regular election to be conducted as a coordinated polling place election to be called and held within the district on Tuesday, the 6th of May 2025, at which election the electors shall vote for up to 3 directors. 2, that the terms of office for Nicholas Maturano, Andres de Leon, and Joe Richards shall expire following the regular election to be held on the 6th day of May 2025, and there are 0 vacancies on the board. 3, that Robin A. Navarrete of Spencer Fane LLP is hereby appointed to serve as the designated election official for the conduct of the election and is authorized to cancel the election and by resolution declare the candidates elected pursuant to the provisions of section 1-13.5 to 513 of the Colorado Revised Statutes as amended, if the only matter before the eligible electors is the election of persons to office, and if at the close of business on the 63rd day before the election there are no more candidates than offices to be filled at the election, including candidates filing affidavits of intent. If the election is canceled, the Board of Directors shall A, provide notice by publication of the cancellation of the election, B, post a copy of published notice in the office of the designated election official and the clerk and recorder for each county in which the district is located, C, file a copy of the published notice with the Division of Local Government. The Board of Directors shall notify the candidates that the election was canceled and that they were elected by acclamation. If the election is canceled, the canvass board will not meet, and the designated election official shall note the cancellation on the certified statement of results and shall indicate which candidates were elected by acclamation. That the board deems it expedient for the convenience of eligible electors of the district that it designate 2 polling places as follows: Trinidad Ambulance District Office, 13840 Highway 350, Trinidad, Colorado 81082, and Primero School, 20200 County Highway 12, Weston, Colorado 81091. that a nomination for director to serve for any designated vacancy shall be made by written self-nomination, an acceptance form or letter, and filed with the designated election official not less than 67 days prior to the election or prior to the date of said election. That the election shall be held and conducted in accordance with Colorado Local Government Election Code as amended and supplemented by Constitution Colorado Article 10, Section 20, the current rules and regulations governing elections, procedures of the State of Secretary of State of the State of Colorado, and Title 32, Article 1, Part 8, Colorado Revised Statutes, and other relevant Colorado and federal law. Collectively hereafter, all such law and rules shall be referred to as the relevant law. That pursuant to Section 1-13.5-5011 Colorado Revised Statutes as amended, the designated election official shall provide notice of a call for nominations for the election. The notice shall contain all the information required by Section 1-13.5-5011 Colorado Revised Statutes as amended. Eligible electors who wish the ballot may apply for an absentee ballot in writing or by fax using the application form furnished by the designated election official or in the form of a letter which includes the applicant's signature, residence address, and date of birth. Applications for an absentee ballot shall be made to the designated election official, care of Robin A. Navant, not earlier than January 1st, 2025, nor later than the close of business, 5 p.m. on Tuesday, immediately preceding the election. Absentee ballots shall be in the hands of the designated election official not later than the hour of 7 p.m. on the day of the election. Separate ballot boxes shall be used at the polls for ballots cast in person by voters at the polls and for absentee ballots. That all past actions taken by the district, its board members individually and collectively, designated election officials, officers, agents, attorneys, and consultants directed toward the lawful conduct of the election were done in the best interests of the district, and said actions are hereby ratified and confirmed as if originally taken with full authority. That should any part or provision of this resolution be adjudged unenforceable or invalid, such judgment shall not affect, impair, or invalidate the remaining provisions of this resolution, it being the intention that the various provisions hereof are servable. That all acts, orders, resolutions, or parts thereof of the district that are inconsistent or in conflict with this resolution are hereby repealed to the extent only of such inconsistency or conflict. That the provisions of this resolution shall take effect immediately, that in the event of a conflict between this resolution and relevant law, the relevant law shall control. Adopted and approved this 22nd day of January 2025 by the President and attested by the Secretary of the Trinidad Ambulance District.
Well done.
I wish she'd get stuff earlier to me.
Barbara, you may have read it in all the, what's the deadline for the
Oh, I'll give it to you. I actually calculated to a date. I don't
Okay.
have it here with me because it's like 67 days or 56 days
And
or
that's
something.
That's coming up pretty quick, really. I
Yeah.
mean, this is,
I think it's February, end of February. I want to say like the 20th. I don't know for
is there
sure.
a way maybe on the Facebook page you can ask people to, I mean, you know, the last one when we got put in because we're the only ones that applied. The election before that, we had 8 or 9 people that were interested, and that would be nice if we had a good group of people that were interested again. So maybe you could put it on the Facebook page. I mean, you want a diverse group of people, you know, to come in here and do this. So, just my thought. And if they do, I will gladly. I did a meet the candidates back when we had 8 or 9 people. I can't interview people because I'm on the board, but I could certainly give them video time that would be on YouTube and on the local cable channel. So, just my thought.
I think it's a fair idea. If we're doing an election anyways, we need to let people know. I think it's fair.
Yeah.
I see the looks. I know, I see
the
the
$40,000, but.
I
This year it'll be more like probably 50 or 60 they've done it.
If,
So if we find a couple good people that the board agrees with, would that be something that,
yeah, but,
I wouldn't search for anybody, I would just see people apply
Just put
and
it out there.
Yep.
Right.
Yep, let
Maybe
it roll,
go from there.
let it roll, that's how it works.
I think as long as it's like openly, publicly available, then I'm okay with either,
Yeah.
either premise. really.
Post it and see what happens.
you know, it's like in city council right now, Manny's 46 years old and he's the youngest. The problem is this younger generation, sorry, they don't care.
No, I understand. I'm a part of them, I get it. I'm one of the few and I've got like
Yeah.
some kind of predilection, I don't know.
But you at least had an interest because you did this,
Right.
you know, and a passion for it, and that was good. I just like to beat some of these kids. It's like you got to start getting involved. So, all right, I get where you're going, Bubba. Inside, that's a lot of money. But
Yeah, it's a lot of money. I think for me, the compromise would be as long as we have it like readily publicly available, then we don't necessarily have to push
Push it.
it, push too
Well, and
hard.
it
Well, I
legally
just
has
wondered-
to be posted in the
Right.
paper and
Yeah.
it'll be out, it'll be
Yeah, we'll
there.
post it, I don't wanna seem like we're
No.
swaying.
No, I
anybody or
know that.
anything.
I
We'll post it.
And it's already noted on our website.
I do get the premise of not trying to
Yeah.
not spend all that money when we, especially when we're tight already. But while I do get what you're
you
saying.
guys could
Tom,
all
I do.
stay.
There's
I do
due
agree.
process and that's what we do.
Yeah,
And what
exactly.
happens, happens.
I just thought it was weird. I think we had 2 spots and we had 8 or 9 people, and we had 3, and you and
That
I
was
put
the
in the
first
last
year that
second.
I've been here that there weren't anybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We are usually scrambling trying to find somebody.
right.
All right,
So it's hit and miss, I think, you know,
right.
who's interested in when.
So you won't stay?
We do need a motion.
Can,
Yeah.
See, if everybody stayed, we wouldn't have to have an election.
right, but
Well,
next term.
yes, you
when-
would if other people submitted
Yeah, if they were
interest.
interested.
Yeah,
That was sarcasm.
Yeah.
Okay. just saying,
Not very good at it.
no,
I personally love when jokes are explained.
It's not as funny when you have to do that.
Oh, I think it's twice as funny. It's a whole new joke now.
All right.
so we do need a motion and a second if we want to adopt the resolution for the.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the resolution as read for the May 25th election,
It's May 6th.
May 6th.
Okay.
I'll second.
Nick? Tom?
Yes.
Andres?
Yes.
Zach?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes. I'm not signing.
You can't make me.
So you
I
and
will.
the secretary over there.
Dick's probably already home in his pajamas.
I know.
Lucky guy.
I know.
I may have to call in sick tomorrow.
Yeah.
I know. I'm suddenly feeling sick. It's crazy. I think
He looks
Bubba gave it to me.
super healthy, I don't.
No, hey, you calm down. You tell me I look terrible right now. So that will move us on to item number 11, the director's report. Yeah, here we go.
Confetti.
Yeah.
So 2025 EMS guidelines were supposed to be released yesterday, but I've not seen them. So those should be coming out in the coming days. Dr. Becker will be here in February to teach part of our BLS refresher.
Awesome.
So he loves to teach, so that'll be cool to have a brand new face here to teach our folks.
Nice. Are those CEU classes?
Yes.
Can I get in on those, or is that a conflict?
I don't see why not.
So I need to do some CEUs anyways, try and get my EMT back, so.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
There's no conflict.
Awesome.
We'll schedule,
Just checking.
send you a schedule.
Yeah, I know. I've already solidified that. I mean, I know that's off the table.
Would you do it again?
I don't know, man, but I just need to have it back. There's like no reason for me to not have it now that I don't have to go back through school. I can just redo the testing, get 40 hours of CEUs. It's like, why not? Before it was I would have to take the entire course again. And so I didn't want to go through all of that and do all my clinicals, hundreds of hours of clinicals again and stuff. But now that I just have to do practicals, written, and 40 hours of CEUs, I'm like, why wouldn't I? Why would I not? Yeah. Totally.
They dumbed it down so much.
Awesome. That's perfect for me. Yeah, that's good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll scrap that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, just cross me right off. Don't.
So I spoke with the, guy from Denver, what's he, the civil guy for the building?
Oh,
Oh,
realtor.
The realtor.
Yeah.
So I spoke with the realtor yesterday. We need to come up with, an appropriate lease amount number to
Okay.
lease that building, and then we'll put it up for sale and for lease.
Gotcha.
And just some thoughts I had, I mean, we gotta cover the utilities that we're already paying over there, wear and tear, property taxes. I don't know what a good number is for this area, but
Do we know what our monthly expenditure is on the building?
I wanna say utilities is right around 2,000 by themselves. But that's just kinda sitting there with not really anybody over there. We gotta keep those bays heated a little more than normal because we've got trucks over there.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
So like a rough estimation between insurance, taxes, utilities, we thinking like 3 or 4 or what?
In my head, I was at 5, but I don't know if that's reasonable.
I think it's reasonable enough,
How many square feet?
considering all the other expenditures you have coming out of there.
8,700. I would think 4 or 5 would be probably sufficient as well, cause it gives you the best of both worlds. You have base space, you have office space, you have living
Well,
space.
some base space.
Well,
At $9 a square foot, it'd be about 6,500 a month. This
Is that standard?
is commercial,
Did you
commercial
say
rates, I'm out of pocket a little bit, usually runs between,
Or 9.
depending on the facility, between 10 and 15 bucks a square foot.
And that was part of the, issue was it's kind of a special use thing. And so we couldn't go on the commercial side, but we
Right.
can't go
The
residential.
bays are really not
Right,
square
livable
footage per
space,
se,
yeah.
so that would be a factor, so I think you're
I
fine.
think you're right on, I think you're right on.
I'm good.
Start at 5 and see what happens.
Yeah, I think 5 sounds like a good rough number.
Just
See it.
okay, thanks.
Cool. So the appeal was finalized and the appellate court issued the mandate, so we're finally done with all that. Don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. On to the MIH KISS stuff. So this is really cool. So Bubba ended up meeting, PD's CIT, critical intervention team specialist lady, and kind of told her what we were looking at. And she is super pumped. She is all on board. So she's only here for 1 year on a grant.
Okay.
But she said that she sees the need here and she wants to be here long term. And so she's looking for a way to make her position more permanent. With that being said, we have a meeting with her tomorrow morning to see how we can kind of help each other out. But the way we might be able to utilize her is days that she's on shifts, she can be our clinician.
Okay.
And so she can do the assessments and do what we need to do. And then we can help facilitate placement at a holding facility. And we're still trying to verify if there's one in Pueblo, but there's definitely one in Springs.
Okay.
And so if that patient needs to be placed, rather than taking them here to the hospital to sit in the ER for several hours, we can just take them straight up to the holding center in Springs
Nice.
and they can be placed from there.
Okay, that's awesome.
So we've got,
Would that be in, it wouldn't be in an ambulance to transport them, it would be,
so we've got, one of our old QRTs that was not being used. We put a cage in it for secure transport because that's a requirement. That's ready to go. We can do that tomorrow.
Wow.
And Medicaid is paying for these.
Nice.
So as long as, the patient's got Medicaid, Medicaid will pay for it. We met with Health Solutions last week. They are on board. They're on board with providing our telebehavioral health. So if we don't have the TPD CIT, ready to go, we can get them on Pulsera, get them on telebehavioral health. They'll get their assessment. We'll provide whatever services we need to provide for the assessment, pregnancy test, drug test,
drug screen,
the drug screen, drug panel.
potentially flu A, flu B, and COVID.
and then from there, we can get them placed or take them to the holding facility. Health Solutions is also gonna work on a contract with us for the secure transports because the sheriff's office doesn't wanna do it anymore because they don't have the staffing. And so we're looking at doing a contract with Health Solutions to take those over.
Wow, that'd be cool. Do we have, oh man, I'm losing it. An idea on being able to try and help people sign up for Medicaid if they don't have it and would be eligible, because I know it's fast.
So that's part of the community paramedics' job,
Okay,
is
awesome.
to help facilitate, food if they don't have food, try and figure out how to do food.
Beautiful.
That's another thing, is Liz went and met with the soup kitchen today.
Okay.
And they are on board with helping
I
us.
could get with you guys once we get a little bit more up and running. I have that harm reduction business that I'm doing, so it may be good to connect with you guys on
It'd be good.
on that too, because it's the same people, same demographic.
So the soup kitchen is on board with helping with us put together packages.
Sweet.
So if we get called to a scene and it looks like the patient hasn't been eating for a while, we can give them 48 hours or 72 hours?
48 to 72 hours.
A food package
Oh,
until they
nice.
can get
Okay.
back on their feet, and then we help find them resources
Awesome.
or refer them to the soup kitchen.
Sweet.
We help find them if they don't have insurance. We help find them insurance, help get them on Medicaid,
That's awesome.
send them to DHS or social
That's a grant that
services.
DHS can help.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's the goal of the MIH and the community paramedics.
That's, like I said, that might be good for us to reach out to you, because we do anything and everything in between that: clothes, food, first aid, toiletries, healthcare, supplies, all that kind of stuff.
It
So
makes total sense.
Yeah.
And so
that's awesome.
that's what's frustrating about some of these rumors out there, is they think that we're just gonna go out there and be the doctors. We're not being
Right.
doctors.
Right.
We're helping facilitate follow-up care, helping them find the resources that they need, getting them food, getting behavioral health taken care of. We're kind of the intermediary. Right now in the clinic, it's hard to get, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but if you go in there to try and get a vaccine or follow-up or something, it's taking 6 months to a year sometimes.
Oh, totally.
And so we can be that kind of in between of, yeah, we'll get your prescription until you can get into your primary care physician.
Well,
We're not a replacement for that.
I learned this one the hard way within time.
We're just an intermediary until you can get there.
Oh, yeah. No, that's huge here, because
So-
I went through that where to get my meds, I had to get an appointment that was like literally the only way that I could get my meds less than 6 months was I went in and said I had vertigo because I know how to play the system. But that was the only option to get anywhere in town within 6 months.
That or go to the ER.
Mhm.
And then
Well,
you
the
got
ER
bill.
told me no because I didn't say vertigo. Because I said I needed meds, so I have a regular prescription, and I got told no, so I had to go to the clinic, play the game, and play the system. And that sucks.
Well-
Having more resources to be able to help alleviate those issues is awesome.
And I also think that we have room for the contract with Health Solutions,
Mhm.
because Medicaid will pay for the Medicaid patients.
Right,
There are gonna
That's
be
awesome.
people in crisis that aren't on Medicaid.
Yeah.
So we can also negotiate with Health Solutions to pay, they're the payer.
yeah, that's cool.
So
That's
I
really
think
good.
there's a lot
That's,
of room.
that's the biggest issue, is the ones that are not on Medicaid.
Right,
Those are the ones that are hard to place.
that's awesome.
Oh.
That sounds great.
That's awesome.
So there's some really cool stuff. I was
Yeah.
super worried that the behavioral telehealth was gonna be the hardest thing to find,
Mhm.
and that's been the easiest so far.
Wow,
So, I'm super excited about that.
yeah, that is a little surprising.
I had already made that connection with Dr. Baldridge prior to all this, and so that was an easy sell, so that was awesome. You guys have the audit here, it was complete, submitted, they released our property tax funds. I think we got a check for $78,000, you said?
Yeah.
And
October, November, December.
I just kind of poked through it and it looks pretty clean. I think we were ahead $400,000.
Yeah, that's,
So there wasn't anything unusual about it. Because we had an extension and it went so long, we are not allowed to file for an extension this year. So we have to be on top of 24.
okay, when is that due?
May, June. It's May or June, it's right around there.
So we basically just gotta get it started.
Oh, we've already got a beat on somebody to take that over and do that.
Sweet.
So we're on board there. Grants. So I applied for radios on the Assistance to Firefighter grant. I applied for 16 dual band handheld radios with accessories, 6 800 megahertz mobile radios, and 6 VHF mobile radios. Came out to $187,163 plus $8,200 for install, and that's a 5% match.
Okay.
So we only have to match 5%. I think we had set aside $75,000 in the budget for various items.
Okay.
So we're fine there.
You're the bidding for the MTS grant this year?
I am thinking about it, so, and that's what I gave you. So I started the process for the EMTS grant, that's a 50-50 match. I'm kind of on the fence, because I don't wanna apply for radios, because we don't need more radios if we get the one grant. And we don't have a big need, and so if we go to the state and say, hey, I need 5 $300 suctions and
Two stair
two
chambers.
backboards, and so they're gonna be like, well, this is stuff that you guys should be able to afford.
Right.
I don't understand, and so I don't wanna kind of abuse that
Yeah,
and kind of hurt us for future grants,
I get you.
so I'm kind of torn. There are some MIH things that we might be able to apply for that we're looking into. The biggest one being a Piccolo, for labs, and that's, what, $6 grand, $8 grand?
Yeah. Well, anyway, that was a refurbished.
So
So
we'll look at it.
upward around 20,000.
This will be good stuff for the MTS grant.
Yeah,
So
so,
it's
so
yeah.
that I'm looking at, I just gotta get a good hard quote on that.
What's your analyzers for your COVID and your influenza?
So they just do handheld tests that are really, really cheap, and the EMTS grant doesn't usually do disposables, so I don't know if they cover those.
So what,
But we wanna do a couple oxygen concentrators, so if patients have a hard time getting placed on oxygen for a while, we can loan them a concentrator. So we might, and those are kinda cheap, but we might be able to throw those on there. What were you gonna say?
well, Brad was saying that the COVID flu tests that they're using, the company, if you buy X amount of the cartridges, they give you the tester for free. So, kind of like our glucometers.
Nice.
So we'll have to buy, but we'll have to, when we're doing that, we'll just have to test for it.
Yeah, like I told you earlier today, I got a call from Homeland Security. They're told me to apply for a grant now because it might, our hazard mitigation plan isn't due till 2027 or 28. And they said there may not be any money. So with the new administration, and they're looking at cuts coming. So I don't know how it's gonna affect your sphere of grant cycles, but the Homeland Security grants, they need to do it now. So I actually took the county commissioners yesterday and they asked for permission to apply for it.
Yeah, most of the grants we apply for are state grants,
Okay.
local grants, so we're okay. That AFG is a federal grant, but I don't anticipate that'll be an issue.
Yeah, they said 2025 is probably not a problem, but 26 and beyond, they're not, everybody's just guessing, so.
And even the like safer, or not safer grants, the Safe Streets for All grant, I think that's a federal grant, but they base it on state, local jobs.
Oh.
And so I think that comes out of the state, so I don't even think we're affected there, so we're okay.
That's good.
So yeah, so I started the process with the EMTS. I'm just trying to kind of finalize where we need to be and make sure that with that 5% match, if we were to get that, that we still have enough money to cover the 50-50 as well.
Sweet.
And then just a few cool little updates. December 17th, we had all of our little Haas alerting deals installed on 5 ambulances and our 2 trucks. And so we only had a partial report, so at the end of the month, I get a report. So we alerted 67 drivers through the navigation.
That's a cool metric.
We had 12 total incidents. Our average on scene time was 7.8 minutes. We had, our average total responding time was 20 minutes. Our average time to scene was 3.9 minutes. So it's kind of cool. Gives you a little readout every month of how many alerts
Nice.
you sent out. I was gonna pull it up on there and it didn't work. So that's really cool. December 19th, we met with a telehealth company, Avell eCare. Was that the one that was kinda outrageous?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they do it in the Dakotas, I can't remember if North or South Dakota. But basically, it seems like their model was more so that they set up, monitors and stuff for like BLS trucks. And they're kind of the medical direction
Got you.
versus more of a telehealth thing.
Okay.
And they were just outrageous. I mean, they were talking hundreds of thousands of dollars.
3 to 5 million.
Whoa.
Well, it depends on how
Oh,
in-depth you wanted to get.
Yeah.
That's still a crazy number
Yeah, per truck.
for essentially online medical.
Yeah,
control.
it was crazy.
That's nuts.
So I told them, thanks, we'll keep you in mind, maybe not.
No, we will.
January 8th, I had the state chiefs, managers, and directors EMS meeting. I was voted secretary treasurer, so I'm on another
Wow.
state
Look at you go.
committee, but that's really cool because that's where we're pushing a lot of stuff. So
Awesome. That's
I meet with them quarterly. And then we met with Rachel, or I met with Rachel Sessions for the roof stuff.
Okay.
We got our check to start the roof project to replace it.
nice.
So, signed a contract with her to get the roof replaced.
Awesome.
So we're starting down that process.
There's a dynamo engine.
I think it replaced or coated.
They're gonna replace it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Thank God. The
She's
coding
brought-
is just such
She's
an
brought
issue.
a lot
I
of
agree,
people
yeah.
in Trinidad a lot of money.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
She's a firecracker.
Yeah, but that's $282,000.
Wow.
She said that's low. She's gonna get more.
Wow.
And I believe her.
Well,
Some of the stuff she's done, I believe
I
her.
need to meet this lady.
Yeah.
Not unrelated. I've
I'm
just
just gonna
got,
claim it just because I can.
yeah, I've got questions for a friend.
She's a ball of fire. She'll get you what you need.
Perfect.
January 9th, we had the State Emergency Medical and Trauma Services Advisory Council. We have that quarterly. That's usually a 2-day thing. January 10th was our first advocacy committee meeting. So that'll be every Friday now, from now until the legislative session ends.
Cool.
So that's where we're pushing the treat in place, getting Medicaid to come up, all that kind of stuff. January 14th, I had the Colorado Whole Blood Coalition, and I also signed up for the Rural Whole Blood Committee. So I'm gonna be on that committee to figure out how we can bring whole blood to rural Colorado.
That's awesome.
So
You
that's,
said last time it's just a matter of like storage and
Yep.
rotating the blood. That's
Yep.
still the question.
and so they created this committee to see how we can kind of brainstorm to get whole blood here
Nice. That's awesome.
rotated in rural USA.
Sweet.
January and 15th and 16th, we had our Life Pack 35s, our brand new monitors set up and trained, and they're out in the field, and the staff loves them.
Nice.
They're amazing.
I got a chance to mess with one.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were
they're
nice.
super user friendly. Touch screen. I mean, they're nice monitors. So
Way well worth it.
that was a good purchase. January 16th, we also had extrication training with Pinion Canyon Fire, so we went out to Maniscalco's and let some of our new people use our extrication tools to cut up a car.
That's cool.
So that was cool. They
That's
enjoyed
awesome.
that a lot. January 17th is when we met with Health Solutions, and that went well. Yesterday we had the Southern Colorado RETEC meeting. Nothing big out of that. And then right after that, I had the PWW cost report analysis meeting. So that's where I got all that information. And then earlier today, we had the ESF 8 meeting. So as part of the EOC, they have a bunch of what they call ESFs. That's basically just kind of a title for each agency. So like fire is a certain ESF, PD is a certain ESF. So we fall under ESF 8 with the health department and EMS. And so we just went and met kind of our region.
Cool.
Our region.
All 5 of the counties were there.
Yep, so
No, that's
it was
cool.
kind of cool,
Yeah.
just meeting people, seeing faces, trying to
Shaking hands, kissing babies.
get out there
Kissing
and
hands, shaking babies.
grow our brand, so that's what I have for my director's report.
That's awesome. I think that all sounds great. Sounds like we're moving forward as we do.
We can do.
Any questions, concerns? Then that would move us on to item number, do we need to vote on pricing for the building?
I don't think so,
No,
because we're just gonna lease it.
Yeah.
So.
And then we also, wasn't that what we had you sign
yes,
previously, is
Yeah.
you're the agent on
That
it?
I can,
so you
Yeah,
can.
okay,
so I can be the guy,
negotiate.
you're the guy.
unless I don't feel comfortable being the guy, then I'll bring it back to you.
Sorry.
That was weird.
You get busted. There's that
Just because
for
we're
you.
getting close.
Yeah. And then, that's that already.
Thank you. This is for the grants. This is the grant.
And then that will bring us on to item number 12, operations fleet report.
All right, December was busy, 210 calls. That was up 15 from the month before. The on-call crews didn't do any calls. Chief and I went on calls, but we didn't initiate, either one of us initiate any calls. We had 27 interfacility transfers for December. For El Presidente, there was 3 patients we did not transport. 2 of those were safety, one was fatigue, one was safety due to weather, and the other one was a request to take a patient back to her wheelchair, but her wheelchair was actually in Safeway, so that's not something that we
Yeah.
did. We had two return home transports. For the year, we had 358 transfers. That's down 4 from the previous year. For December miles was 4,833 miles. Total year-to-date miles were 67,609 miles on the road for interfacility transfers. So, I know you guys get ready for this. For the first time in months, we have 6 of our 6 ambulances
Wow.
in service. So, things been going good
Is that the
there.
only one?
Right?
Yeah, there it is.
We still have one, yeah, I got it.
I don't know if I can.
I don't either, because I haven't seen it.
Sensational.
You just hate to say it out loud.
Yeah.
We still
Oh,
have
yeah, it's
our
already jinxed.
one employee out on workman's comp. She did have surgery, that went well. It was a major surgery in her hand. They had to put anchors in to secure tendons and ligaments and all kinds of good stuff. She's doing PT now. She's got a good spirit, so she's hanging in there. Some other good news. We have hired 2 part-time EMTs.
Nice.
One of which is in the FTO process right now. We have hired 2 part-time paramedics, one of them being rehiring Darren Kolakowski.
Good for Darren, good for Darren.
Yeah, I'll leave that there. And in addition to that, we have hired 1 full-time EMT to fill our our full-time slot. So we have a total of part-time paramedic and a part-time EMT in FTO, and our full-time will start Saturday and Sunday for his FTO. So that's good news.
That's
And
awesome.
just to clarify, we didn't have an open position. We created a position, so when we transition one of the paramedics to community paramedic,
Gotcha.
he'll fill in that spot.
Okay. I just
Correct.
remembered that
Yes,
you were mentioning that we were having a little bit of trouble staffing with part-timers picking up.
Well, you have an EMT right there.
I know.
Yeah,
Well,
there
you
you
can
go.
Not certified, he's got to retest.
Yeah.
That ship has sailed. They've met me too many times.
Yeah.
We've talked outside
He
of
knows how we
meetings, they'll
take
never
care of our
hire me.
people. He's not a candidate.
We also have one person that's out on bereavement,
Okay,
been out for a week and possibly another week. So
that's good.
we're kind of short-staffed again
Yeah.
with 2 people being out, but
But
we're
for,
managing.
for a moral reason or an ethical reason.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, she's out of state, so, once again, just to reiterate, met with, Althea. She seems to be just great. I came back, told Chief that I was super excited, that she was super excited. He's like, yeah, but you're just Bubba. And then
Glad you said it.
I told her, I said, I'm gonna have to give her a nickname. She said, I already have one, it's Fee. I said, okay, that's better than mispronouncing your real name. So that was good for me. Then I was able to prove to Chief that she was super excited and stoked verbatim from her text message. So I was able to get those in record.
Unquote.
Yeah.
I was stoked once.
Yes.
All right, so I got one more thing.
We're talking about the same thing.
We got one more thing. In addition, it's kind of like everybody, and I just hate that everybody is kind of down on this whole MIH thing, but
It's temporary.
James McLaughlin, Tiny, as we know him from UPRAD up at UPass, also had an actual meeting at the state level for the Behavioral Health Association, one of the main ladies over our region, and he put a plug in with her, and we will have a meeting in the near future with her and probably some other folks from the BHA to mimic UPRAD's behavioral health program at Trinidad April. So we're starting to build it, and they're coming. So looking forward to that. And with that, I'll answer any questions.
Without getting into specifics, if someone from Trinidad, this happened to a friend, if they end up in a hospital in Denver and they need to come home, can the ambulance transport them, go to Denver and pick them up and bring them back?
We typically don't.
Okay.
And one of the reasons is as we fought for is we have, we keep our ambulances in district so that they can.
There's another reason to that. So technically, you're not supposed to initiate a transport in somebody else's jurisdiction.
Okay.
So, the law says that you can now up to 11 times. If you do it a 12th time, you're supposed to have a license from that community, that county. But as good practice, you're technically not supposed to go into somebody else's jurisdiction without asking them.
Okay.
And then the other thing is medical necessity. If they don't need medical necessity, typically they don't if they're going home, the insurance won't pay for them.
Well, they brought them from one hospital down to this one.
Oh, okay.
So, and this person asked me, I'm like, I don't know. And then when that person is ready to go home and they still medically have issues, would we be able to transfer from the hospital to their home?
So.
Is this a bad question?
So I didn't bring this up. We've had a point of contention here recently with the hospital on that. So right now, the way we do it is if they are bed confined, okay, so they're unable to sit in a wheelchair, unable to move, transfer, those type of things, and they live within town limits, we will take them home.
Okay. This is for somebody I know on the inside, and I didn't have the answers, so.
So yeah, so the agency from the other community would have to bring them to our hospital. From our hospital, typically we don't because the insurance doesn't cover that.
Okay.
And we don't want to have to bill the patient because what gets expensive is the mileage. And so that's why we've limited the town and we usually don't get paid on those.
Okay.
But I mean, sometimes it's the right thing to do and so we gotta do the right thing.
Yeah.
So it just depends on the situation.
They asked me and I didn't know, so.
I would imagine coming from Denver too, there's so many services up there. There's such a supply of transport services as well.
I'm sure Tom is one of the best providers out
He did, yeah, he knows who's up there.
Well, we've
That
had
goes
people
in the-
request
That
us.
goes in the
there. That
minutes
was
too.
non-sarcasm.
Yeah. And the joke's back, yeah.
And then the city facility usually doesn't have any issues finding somebody to bring them down to us.
Right, yeah.
Right.
On this, I was going to say it's miscellaneous. was over the Trinidad Police Department the other day, and all their vehicles have to have a sticker from the state that they have lights and stuff on. And they just found out about it, they were going to cancel all their registrations. They had to go to clerk recorder and get everything straightened out for all the vehicles. Do we have the stickers on ours?
We're waiting for them to come in.
Oh.
So with the new
So they're
ground
gonna send
ambulance
us.
licensing,
Yeah.
that was a requirement, and now all emergency vehicles are required to have that red
Okay.
sticker.
Yeah, Trinidad hasn't done it for 17 years.
Oh, yeah, see, that's,
Yeah.
that's how Georgia was. We always had to have the sticker. It
Yeah.
had to be
I
updated
just
with the
figured I'd bring it up
signature.
if it wasn't
Sticker
getting
form.
done.
It's,
Yeah, so
it's
it's in
always
the
been a
box.
thing, but now it's enforced.
If you
Says
have
that you're an
emergency lights.
vehicle. They have lights and sirens.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm telling you,
It's-
man,
It's
it's
not the vehicle, it's that they have lights and stuff.
Yeah.
Emergency,
Every vehicle that potentially or will run emergent
Yeah.
has to have it. So we
Your
did
trucks.
15 of them.
yeah.
And you have to do a separate form for
it's
each
every
one.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah, we had the state inspectors that would pull up in a white PT Cruiser and pull you over on the side of the road if you weren't on a call, to check your stickers and to check basic, like your things to keep you roadworthy. But yeah, in Georgia, it was a big deal. They
We're
pull
running
you
into
over
trouble
just
because
to
she has
check
to have her
stickers.
original titles.
Oh,
They had to go find the original titles.
That's pretty
It's a
tough
big
sometimes.
mess.
Just more money, is that
Oh,
what
no,
it is?
it's,
The cost?
no, it's not that onerous.
What's
Up
that?
until the beginning of the year, they used to
It
just
was
work
for them.
volunteers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now it's
Yeah, I
everybody.
just need the VIN number.
It's a little bit more money for the
Just
state.
additional-
I used my
costs.
purple lights in a snowstorm to bring all these people. There was a bus when we had that snowstorm in 2008. Wait, I got a call to go to the hospital and pick somebody up, and then a priest called and said we have a bus of 50 people at Walmart, and they'd been there for 3 days. It was New Year's Eve, and so the city came and plowed me out, and I went and I was at the hospital picking the person up. And then the priest called and said, could you take 50 people? They've been stuck in Walmart. And so I pulled up and I had a purple light, and I said, come to the purple light.
Walmart security.
We took 50 people, we brought them to our house. 22 kids, 2 adults stayed with us, the others stayed in a hotel down the street. And we had the biggest New Year's Eve party of people we'd never met. They were just happy to be out of Walmart.
Yeah, that does sound like a fun party.
But the purple light saved me. I don't know if that's a purple light.
Well,
Is that
now you're
emergency?
gonna need a purple sticker.
No, purple's not a thing.
We'll make you a sticker.
It's the color though of the funeral lights.
No, it's a thing, and he has to apply to me.
So, if no other questions, that's my report.
Sweet. Yeah, that moves us into miscellaneous.
I'm glad you bring this stuff to us, but I'm also glad that we're ahead of it.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
I actually, to tell you the truth, I figured you would.
That's
Because
awesome.
you guys are doing such a great job.
Yeah, the whole discourse makes me feel great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We feel good.
So thank you.
Absolutely.
And then that'll put us on our next regular meeting date, which I have, is it February 26th? Or is this the, okay, it's the 5 Wednesdays that make it weird.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
well, it's just a regular old 4.
Like a roll for.
Regular old 4. Cool, so that'll move us to adjourn. Someone wants to give a motion?
I will do that and make it all night, so.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Nick? Tom?
Yes.
Andres?
Yes.
Zach?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Adjourned.
Beautiful.
Next